Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Ingram Jones, and I have with me the former heavyweight champion of the world, Chris Byrd. Chris, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm great, champ. I'm great. Want to hear your views on the fight between Lemieux and Golovkin? What are your thoughts?
Oh, wow, explosive. It should be, especially with the two styles. With Lemieux, I think it's a great fight for him because of the pressure. He don't have to go chase somebody down, just like Golovkin, the same thing. Chasing somebody down. I think it's gonna be more about who can perfect what in the ring. As far as we know, both guys can punch.
Right.
We know both guys come forward. Who's gonna be able to take the bigger punches? Whose defense better to take those punches and break each other down? And where Golovkin, that's where, in my opinion, he does a great job of. He's a thinker. When you see Golovkin, he's placing punches, certain punches as he's breaking you down, coming forward. So he's a hard guy to face. I mean, it's a positive for Lemieux too because you don't got to go chasing a guy. But at the same time, Golovkin showing in previous fights he has a great chin. He breaks you down. And you got to remember, he's an Olympic silver medalist. He's a great amateur. I always throw that in because, he faced had a lot of fights as an amateur and, Olympics and going through that system. You learn a lot. You learn how to adapt. So, you lean toward Golovkin. I think in the fight, he's more complete as a fighter. But, you never know in fights like this because you got two powerful guys that are looking for, a KO. And in this fight, Golovkin's going to really taste something maybe that he's never tasted before ever. So it remains to be seen. I'm leaning toward Golovkin, but I never really picked. I just it should turn out to be an explosive fight. And I know a lot of times they say fights can be explosive, but it turned out to be like kind of a dud, not like it should be. But with these two guys,
it's gonna happen.
That come straight ahead and look to throw, major shots. And like I was saying, alluding to earlier with the defense, I think whoever has the better defense stands the better chance of really lasting in the fight and win the fight. I mean, and I'm being serious because in certain fights, man, with Golovkin, he getting hit, he's a little open with certain punches, but the guy is not that big of a puncher to really do any damage, but he's getting hit with certain shots. And, the two hiccups with Lemieux, learning experience, I think he got stopped in one, and so it makes you really shore up your defense big time. And if he has it, he's really going to need to in this fight. So it remains to be seen of how it really goes because, how boxing is like when somebody say they can, the media say so one person can punch so hard, they get in the ring, like, you don't punch that hard. I thought you punched harder than that. Or he's like, man, he punched real hard. I gotta tighten up, and then it could change the whole complexion of the fight. So,
yes,
I think it's good for boxing that these two guys are fighting, two champions at the top fighting. I mean, especially with Lemieux fighting, winning the title, fighting him first fight, after winning the title. That's saying something. And he's looking to prove that he's the best middleweight in the world. And with these two styles, man, it could take boxing to another level.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's worthy of pay-per-view. I don't know how many buys, because both guys are not that popular as far as, Lemieux just won the title in America, not as popular, and Golovkin trying to get that, that popularity up. I know he's fought on HBO many times, but I think it's, pay-per-view worthy, and man, you should see an outstanding fight.
Interesting. When I was talking to you, I like to talk about the possibilities of what could happen Now, if I were a boxing trainer, the way looking at this, I think Lemieux's got only one way of winning this fight, which is to go forward, jump on Golovkin, and just don't give him any room. Keep his back against the ropes. Keep Golovkin's back against the ropes, and give him no room to get any sort of space to land punches. Keep him on his back foot and see what he does with his back against the ropes.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts about that?
That's huge. That's huge. I mean, it's huge, but they're talking about that with Golovkin. With, like I said, my friend Paul Baden, who was former world champion.
Yeah.
What happens when we watch him box? What happens if somebody push him going backward? But at the same time, that's the same thing with Lemieux. It's the same exact thing. What's going to happen? Who's going to give? What are you going to do? Can you fight going backward? And how their styles play out, in my opinion, I think Golovkin is a more precise puncher, places punches a little bit better, and sets you up a little bit more. I mean, he punches hard, and every punch probably, pretty hard, but like Lemieux throw every punch hard, just throwing. So, with most guys in the ring, you kind of look at that and be like, okay, I know what's coming. Every single punch. I know every punch is coming, swinging for the fence. Where, with Golovkin, man, you can see him just thinking as he's breaking you down, as he's coming forward. He's breaking you down, thinking, placing his shots really well. I mean, he placed them really well. Great body shots, great shots in the head. He put them together a little bit better. So, that's why I go with leaning toward Golovkin, a little bit more. But you never know, when you got